Welcome everyone. In this video I will show you my African violets that are blooming in April of 2020. I put them together for you on one shelf so I can show them to you all at once. First, I wanted to show you a little experiment here that I'm doing with natural light. These are a few varieties that I noticed was sensitive to LED light, to very bright and intense light. So I just put them here so they can just get the west facing light window through the sheer curtain, and no LED whatsoever. And I will name them for you. This one is EK Seawolf and it's going to bloom. It's still turning towards the LED lights, I noticed, so I have been rotating them when I don't forget, of course, to make sure that the leaves get equal exposure. But I can show you the results of the LED exposure that this poor thing had earlier. This light spot in here, it's like a sunburn from the very bright LEDs. Then this one is Bouquet Nostalgia. It's a little stretched, so the leaf stems are a little longer than they should be, I think. But the leaves look much healthier now. I might start looking into investing into the full spectrum grow lights, because I noticed that the commercial light fixtures with daylight LED lights, they just somehow the plants don't feel happy or don't look happy under them. This one is Lemon Whip and it's just a young starter. This one is Bouquet Seductress, also stretching towards the light a little bit, so I have to turn this one as well. And this one, Shinoda Red Wine with curl leaves. Alright, so let's start with the stars of today's episode, all these blooming beauties. This one is Jolie Magic. It has very bright dark fuchsia blooms, frilled pensies, and glossy dark green leaves, serrated. I have quite a few Jolies and I love them all. The plants that I will show you today, many of them have individual reviews on my channel, and some of them that just started blooming will have their reviews done soon. So check them out if you'd like to get more information about each variety. But in the meantime, I'll show them to you all. The next one is Jolie Fairy. I recently repotted it while it was blooming, and I know it's not recommended to repot the plant while it's blooming, because then you can lose the blooms. But I noticed that the 3-ounce solo cup in which it was potted was getting way too small for it. So I took a risk, and it's still blooming, not as profusely as it could have, but still pretty. It's the first blooming cycle. It has double pink blooms with some darker edge that shows on younger blooms and also in cooler growing temperature. Next one is Gecko's Angelic Vespa. It's a wasp variety with pink blooms. I got it from Bloom Lovers in Canada. Tina has really beautiful plants. I highly recommend her. The leaves are very interesting on this variety. The younger ones, actually the younger ones also have bustlebacks. They're just hard to see. I thought that only the older leaves had bustlebacks, but no, this one too. Very pretty. It's like a space universe plant. Unusual. This one is Rose Bouquet, and it's getting very pale, I noticed. The center leaves, the new growth starts getting very white like its body, watermelon snow. The Sport from Rose Bouquet, which I will show you later on the same shelf. And maybe I'll show it to you now. So they look almost similar. Whereas in the winter, this one had much more pink in the leaves. This one is Ness Crinkle Blue. I made an individual review of this variety recently. I got this plant from a fellow African Violet Club member. So huge thanks to him if he's watching this. I'm really excited about the first blooming cycle. It looks like a bouquet of little blue roses. Next one is Max Dark Night of the Soul. Variegated with purple little rose-like flowers. I got this one from Linden Lion, as well as these two, Toronto Belle with variegated girl leaves and Sassy's sister. Very beautiful frilled double flowers with darker pink tones. And another pink here is Rob's Funny Bunny. It just keeps blooming all the time. It has very nice white edge around the petals and very nice variegated rosette. And this little pink beauty is called Pinki, and it's a vintage variety by Folkman. Here is another Jolie. It's called Jolie Gold. I got this one as a leaf, as a substitute for Honeybee from Tropical World Nursery, and I'm so happy I got it. I would have never thought of purchasing it. It's described as a double white yellow, but the first bloom opened up as a single, but it looks like a little beautiful star, and I look forward to more blooms to see if there are any double blooms. And I love the leaves. The leaves are so pretty. This one is Rob's Gundaroo, a semi-miniature trailer that is a non-stop bloomer. It's a beautiful lavender, light purple blue color. I can't describe it, but the color is even more beautiful in person. This one is a happy plant called Rob's Slap Happy. It's a semi-miniature by Ralph Robinson, and I got it from the native source from Violet Barn. Crown variegation and coral pink semi-double blooms, pansies. Very pretty. This one is Optimara Yosemite, grown from a leaf that I received last year from Selective Gardener. It has very full blooms that are white and blue with some green edge in them. Beautiful. And the one next to it is Painted Silk. It's a miniature variety with variegated girl foliage. I have an individual review for this one as well. The variegation is best seen in the center. This one is one of my most favorite varieties by Belinda Thibodeau, called Cajun's Fair Maiden. These are the very first blooms, and I'm truly in love with this variety. The contrast between the dark variegated leaves and the pale pink blossoms with very, very thin edge that is darker color. It's very beautiful. And here is the watermelon snow, which is a registered sport from Rose Bouquet that I showed previously. The blooms look like little roses as well, and they're lighter in color than Rose Bouquet. This one is another Optimara grown from the Selective Gardener's leaf that I received last year, and it's called Rhapsody Clementine. I love the simplicity of the blooms and the beautiful color and the sculptured shape of the petals on the blooms. I'm looking forward to more blooms to open, and then I'll make an individual review of this variety. So stay tuned for that one. This is another favorite of mine from Belinda Thibodeau called Cajun's Dixie Pride. Also first blooming cycle, very full pink blooms that are darker in color than Fair Maiden, and they have variable dark raspberry edge. This one is Jolie Jubilee with very dark maroon wine colored blossoms and golden variegation, crown variegation. Beautiful. Then of course my favorite Anne keeps blooming for me for about a couple of months now. I love the Longifolia variegated leaves with very bright contrasting variegation on this one. And this one next to it is similar colored blooms, but they're rose shaped and very pretty variegation on the leaves called Dean's Faded Rose. And I have to rejuvenate this rosette because it's getting older now, and so you can see the younger leaves are much smaller than the older ones. So I'll take care of it sometime soon, hopefully. This one is another plant that came in the order from Selective Gardener last year that I grew from a leaf. It came as a plug, which I managed to kill, unfortunately, being a newbie, but I managed to rescue a leaf of it, and it's a baby, one of the babies. Optimara EverPrecious, one of the space violets. Look at that green frilled edge. Very beautiful. Now this one is a challenging plant that is finally blooming, and I couldn't be more excited. Rob's Vanilla Trail. I got it last year from Violet Barn, and it just didn't want to grow, and so I had to regrow it from a leaf. So I finally see the blooms coming out. I'm super happy about this one. They look like little vanilla pink roses. Now this is the only one streptocarpus that is now blooming, and I wanted to show you. I made an individual review for it as well a while ago. So now it's in full bloom, and some blooms have already been spent. It's called Dell's Polar Canary, and it's variegated streptocarpus. This one is called AE It's Raining. It's a Russian hybrid by Evgeny Arkhipov, and it has very nice fantasy on the white petals, and the blooms are double or semi-double, and they have some lavender color as well. They're very delicate looking blooms. And finally, this one is another favorite of mine by George MacDonald, called Max Just Jeff. I love the variegation on the crown and also the dark red blooms. So here they are, all of my blooming beauties. They are growing under a combination of 2 light bulbs. They're both LED light bulbs, and one is 6500K and another one is 3000K. And here's the light under which they're growing. And they get some of the west facing window light, but not really too much because there is a building adjacent, so it covers some of the west facing light coming from the sun. And they grow in 56% humidity and 75 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And we are in April 21st, 2020. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay safe and be well. And please subscribe to stay tuned.